So Representative Kip Kendrick out of the 45th District here today. So Senate back over the House budget bills this week. It did some damage, but minimal, hopefully minimal damage from what they've done in years past. So one thing that I will say is that we're very concerned about the $50.5 million that was cut out of the foundation formula. The House had worked very hard, bipartisan effort to put close to $99 million new spending authority into the foundation formula. So we're going to do everything that we can. I was happy to hear the chairman of the committee, Representative Fitzpatrick, talking about making sure that we're going to hold that line, and I can tell you we're going to do whatever we can to hold that line for the foundation formula to make sure that we get back to that $99 million mark. There was one other thing that was very concerning. There were several things that were concerning. There was I think there was over, I believe, $3 million cut out of autism service funding. Doesn't seem to be any good reason for that, I don't know what the intent was. I don't know if it was a game to play to use leverage, but to use children with disabilities as individuals with autism as potential leverage in budgeting is not appropriate. So we will have to work to hold a House position on that line. And then there's also I think it was roughly maybe a little over $3 million as well that was taken, over $2 million, maybe it's $2.3 million that was taken out of the treatment court program. So drug court, mental health court, veterans courts, services that have been proven very effective in reducing recidivism rates. So, actual recidivism rate for an offender coming out of DOC is about 50% recidivism. Treatment courts is around 15% recidivism. And these are, I've personally worked outside of here in mental health court for a couple of years with individuals going through that, and I can tell you it's a lengthy process. It's not easy, but it does keep people out of prison. It keeps them in services, making sure that they are that they're being properly rehabilitated and receiving the services they need. So we're going to do everything that we can to hold the House position on that as well. And with that, I'll take, I assume, a multitude of questions.
Representative Kendrick, Speaker Richardson said that a substantial number of lawmakers, representatives, have signed the petition to call a special session. He would not give a number. Any sense if they've got the 3/4? Do you have any idea?
I don't believe they're there yet. I will say that the Democrats we still believe that we can move forward at this point with an indictment, with an impeachment. And impeachment is nothing but an indictment. I believe the first report has plenty of evidence. Could be a second report in coming weeks, and if that comes forward and it shows the need to move forward with additional articles, we can do that and send those on to the same 7 eminent jurors should the House decide to move forward with impeachment. There's still have time left in this legislative session.
On the budget, you and I spoke several times about higher education and that the agreement that Chairman Fitzpatrick came up to hold tuition and restore that funding. Are you pleased to see that appears to have come back out of the Senate standing?
Yeah, no, I am. I was pleased to see that the $68 million was restored. The $68 million in proposed cuts was upheld by the Senate. So that's going to be a non-conferenceable item, which is always good to see. It's always nice to see a position on higher ed where we're not having to fight for additional funding to hold either House or Senate position. The special initiatives line, so the cooperative agreements, so there's a medical school expansion, dental school expansion, pharmacy school expansion, I believe engineering as well. Those received additional funds, but have concerns with those have been line item back out rather than wrapped up into core. We moved them into core to protect those lines. We have some concerns that with them being separated out, that they become more vulnerable for complete withholds or vetoes, just more vulnerable out there standing alone. So do what we can to move those back into core. The $68 million that we restored in proposed cuts, that doesn't get us anywhere near where we've been in the past for higher ed funding. This is basically creating the least worst situation possible this year. So we're going to have to do everything we can in future years to get additional funding to higher ed. But I feel like we've done a responsible thing this year to get back to where we are currently.
Representative Kendrick, Representative Roan and Representative Lavender, a Republican and a Democrat, both said this week in committee that the Department of Agriculture does not have enough funding, that they are losing money in every one of their divisions. There's going to be a committee investigating that. Any reaction to that?
Yeah, I've had a conversation with Representative Roan and look forward to working with him on, in particular, the individuals who are inspecting the application of fertilizers and pesticides around the state. That office is way understaffed, and that's part of the reason that farmers in southern Missouri who are dealing with the dicamba issue haven't been made whole in a timely process, right, or in a timely fashion. So you have an underfunded department that can't go and do or can't intervene early enough, or delayed reports, and that holds back the ability for them to receive insurance reimbursements due to all the damage created by dicamba. So there are ways that we can get additional funding to them. Looking at, I know that Representative Roan, I believe, has filed a bill that would increase the initial charge on being licensed to be able to apply fertilizers. So there are some ways we can use other funds rather than GR, but yeah, we need to look at ways to increase funding.
Thank you.
Oh, good. You did run out of questions. That's cool.